There's a large mass of asylum seekers en route to the U.S. who come from countries much further away than Central America. And before they get to the United States, they have to first make the treacherous trek through the Darien jungle. I drove from Medellin to the city of Turbo on Colombia's western frontier to get a sense of where these migrants are coming from.
It's a long drive, about 9 hours. Not that far distance-wise, but this road is so winding, just up and down these very extreme mountains. That's just how it is.
It was dark by the time I arrived, but early the next morning I found what I was looking for: masses of African migrants at the public boat dock. Peter Ba left Cameroon in mid-June.
Passed through Istanbul, that's in Turkey. Then we stopped at Panama. Then now we came to Ecuador. So we are trying to walk now back to Panama. From Panama, that's how we go to Inter-America, which that would be more safe for us.
There's so many migrants that have showed up today that they're having to get more boats to put them in. This is the public dock in Turbo, and this boat behind me is full of migrants that are headed to a place called Capragana. It's the last spot inside Colombia, and from there they will start their walk. Most of them have no idea what they're about to face.
I don't know. I heard it's a tough run, but I don't know. We just pray God to guide us through.
Some of those making this trek through the jungle likely will not survive. But if they do, their journey is far from over. Camps in Panama now hold as many as 10,000 migrants, and the number of those being allowed to continue north to Costa Rica are only a few hundred per week. And the harbor master here in Turbo says the numbers continue to surge.
As of yesterday, we've transported over 6,000 people of different nationalities: Congo, Cuba, Haiti, Pakistan, Syria, Eritrea, Bangladesh. It's increased a lot, especially migrants from Africa. Many of them think that when they get here to Turbo, that the worst is over, but in reality, their suffering is just beginning.
And Fabricio thinks the biggest travesty is the number of children forced to make this dangerous journey.
We've seen nearly 600 of them this year alone making the crossing with their parents, many of them not even walking yet. It's really hard to watch.
Here on the Panama side of the Darien Gap, the Panamanian Border Police have picked up about 40 children in the last 12 months who've come walking out of this jungle all by themselves. Now, they didn't go in that way, but their parents died on the journey. And that leaves the government of Panama in a real quandary, because in some cases, they don't even know what this kid's name is. He's too young to tell them, or even what country he comes from. And so I went and talked to the Panamanian version of Child and Family Services to find out how they're dealing with this crisis.
They arrive here in very bad health, exhausted, dehydrated, and covered with bug bites from the jungle. It's really painful for our team. We are deeply disturbed seeing children affected in this way.
OSLEYDY Rodriguez is a Border Service liaison who works to reunite families who get separated on the trail. She says the children are being put in too much danger.
We've heard stories of an animal that attacked a baby and killed it out there. But when we recover lost children, we look at the border stations and, for example, recently reunited a 2-year-old with her mother after 7 days being lost.
I'm at the bus station in Medellin, Colombia, and this is one of the main stopovers for many of the migrants who are coming from overseas. One of the questions I think people have is, how are they getting here and how are they paying for it? Well, almost all of the migrants coming from Africa, Asia, and other places around the world have to go to Ecuador first, because it's the only country in the Western Hemisphere, basically, that will allow them in without a visa. Then they start taking buses. It takes about a week, and they ride buses from Ecuador up through Colombia, change buses here in Medellin, and take another one up to Turbo, which is the jumping off point for the Darien Gap. As to how they're paying for it, well, many of them that I'm talking to are telling me they get the money from their friends and family in the United States. So, all other things being equal, I think it's fair to say that these migrants might be desperate to get into the U.S., but they're certainly not destitute.
Omar Cáceres is one of dozens of Cuban migrants preparing to cross the Darien Gap this morning.
They've warned me the trip is really tough, complicated, and dangerous. I'm not sure how I will make it. but I trust my family to support me and God to protect me.
From Western Colombia, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.